Hey guys, so I wanted to make a video on how to make a bookmark blank. So this is the bookmark that I have in process, and what I refer to as the blank is this part that goes inside the book. So if you make this part first, and then you can put anything you want on the end of it that's gonna stay outside the spine. So you can do anything, and you make any bookmark with a bookmark blank. So what you're gonna need for this is about 20 or so inches of 16 gauge square and about 10 inches of 20 gauge half round. The 16 gauge square, what you actually need is gonna be 13 inches for the blank portion, plus whatever you want to do on the front that you're gonna use this to create your frame. So leave yourself enough room for that. Some designs you might not need very much extra, and some you might need quite a bit. So I've cut quite a long piece here. And the first thing we're gonna do is take one end, and we're gonna use our bail making pliers. We're gonna use this 5mm tip and the 10mm round here. The other shaping tool we'll use, I just have this wooden ring mandrel that I use for a lot of things, and we'll use about the middle and then the very largest end as well. All right, so first what we want to do is just take this end of the 16 gauge and just make a loop with the 5mm end here, and just make that loop go all the way around until it touches. So just like that. And then you're gonna, on the opposite side, you're gonna take the 10mm side of this, make sure to keep your square square, and you're gonna roll that backwards. And you're gonna kind of go past a little bit and then go past a little bit, and that's gonna give you a nice tension there on this shape. So now this is our first shape. What we're gonna do is hammer it with just a heavy hammer. I use a brass hammer or a planishing hammer. Depends on what kind of finish you want, but you wanna get this nice and flat because it's gonna go between the pages of a book, so you want it to be as flat as possible. Now, when you're hammering this, don't hammer past about here, because we're still gonna make more curves in this wire, and it's gonna be much harder to do if it's flat. But it is easier to make 2 curls, hammer, make 1 more curl, hammer, make 1 more curl, hammer, than to make all the curls at once and then hammer it at the end. My personal preference for how to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and hammer this. All right, so definitely flatter than it was before, and you also get this nice kind of shape. So let's tighten up those shapes. First of all, once you hammer it and it sort of spreads out a little bit. So you just wanna tighten this up a little bit, tighten this up a little bit. And there you've got the start of your bookmark blank. The next curl you're gonna make, you're always going away from the ones you did before, is about in the middle of this. So I like to position this here so that it's about in the middle, and the end of my top curl is at the bottom of the mandrel here. And then we'll curl. And same thing here, you wanna pull this and go kind of past and past. And now we'll hammer again. Again, don't hammer past about here because we've still got 1 more curl to make here. All right, and then we'll go ahead and tighten that up by pushing past, and now it's nice and tight on there. So you can see this is getting nice and textured, it's nice and flat, and we're gonna make our last curl, which is going to be on the bottom of this ring mandrel. And we'll position it just about like that. And just loop it over the top there, pull it down, and once again, keeping our square square, right? Put past there, and now you've got your last loop here. So now you're gonna go ahead and hammer it to about here. So a little bit ways up the spine, not more than as long as you want the inside blank of your bookmark, which is generally about 5 to 6 inches. So that's about where I want to hammer it to. You don't have to go that far though. As long as you get past about here, you'll be good. You might want to use some pliers to sort of straighten. You can see how that's sort of curving a little bit. And I like this to be nice and straight, like the spine of a book. So nice and straight. And then we can bring this part to meet it. And do a little more hammering. Okay, so we've made all 3 of our loops and we've hammered them, and now we just need to affix them. So we'll take about 6 inches of the 20 gauge half round and we're going to affix that here. So just loop it around both. You can always stop and sort of clamp that down, make sure, and you want to make sure that these are laying flat next to each other, not on top of each other, because remember, going between the pages of a book, you want it to be nice and thin. So we're just going to go like that. And once you get to about there-ish, now you're going to want to tie this off. We'll go one more on a single wire instead of both. So we just go right in here where they separate, and we will make 2 loops around just like that. And we can trim off the excess. How do you know which side is the back? Well, imagine opening up a book. This is the side that you will see when you open up the book. So make sure that this part is facing to the right, and then this is the back. Trim it off. Push it down. I usually have my other pliers with me. And then we'll repeat that on the other side. So there you go, just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing here, but not on this top one because it's stiff enough that it doesn't need it. So we're going to take about 4 inches of the 20 gauge half round and put it right here. And we're going to do this wrap exactly the same as this one. So next to each other, not on top of each other, and primarily on the middle, and then tie off on the straight end. There we go. So this is ready to become whatever kind of bookmark wants to be on the end of it. Now, how do you actually construct the bookmark? The first thing you're going to want to do is figure out where to start your bookmark down this way. This part down here is going inside the book. So if you think about the length of a book, most books are at least longer than 6 inches. So 6 inches is okay. You might want to make it 5 to 6, but wherever you want your length, you might want a really short one. That's totally fine. I'm going to go to about 6 inches. So that's where it's going to go into the top of my book. And then it's going to be another inch of curve around the top of the book. And so this is where the front of my bookmark starts. And if I want some like length down the spine before I start creating my frame, that's really going to depend on, you know, your design, but call it, you know, at least another 1/2 inch. And this is where I can start creating whatever decoration is going to be on the front of my bookmark. And so in order to do that, the way you want to position this is up like this. So straight up and down. And then you want to create your design here on the top like this. And so if I find my marks here, and I might want to start creating my frame by making a kink here. And now this stands up like this, and I will make my decoration here. Once you're done, I'll do a tutorial on, I'll add a completing the bookmark portion of this tutorial so that you can see what happens once you're done making something to go here that goes down, that is your design for the front of the book. All right, see you soon.